Get ready for a night of face-melting metal, Friday, November 10th at the Odd in West Asheville. It is the return of the annual Steel and Stone Fest, featuring the only performance of the year from the North Carolina power metal legends, Twisted Tower Dire. The rest of the lineup includes metal bands from Asheville and surrounding areas. Children of the Reptile, Oblivion Throne, Overload, Temptation's Wings, and All Hell. $12 in advance, $15 at the door. First 50 people get a free comp CD. Doors are at 4, the music is at 7. For advance tickets, go to steelandstonefest.com. Be there.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttatooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
As dawn approaches, Heineken! Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They're open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my pyre. Oh, this is the metal forge. 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 Metal forge. My furnace starts to glow with crimson coals. My hammer beating out 1,000.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. Yeah. This week we have Oblivion Throne here at the Metal Forge, and soon coming into the monologue is Mr. Jason Gardner of the Alehorn Heavy Metal Wasteland, and my partner in Flamekeeper, which, as you all know, holy shit, has changed recently. We now have a couple of new members here at Flamekeeper, which is Justin White from Metal on a Budget and Those Who Speak Evil band here in my area, and Mr. Aaron Ossont, who is hosting Ossont Battery. And it is a twice monthly interview deal, Ossont Battery is, and he will be having his own unsleeves as well. And Metal on a Budget is Justin reviewing budget gear. You know, things that you can get ideas for, of like, say you wanted to have, say, the ultimate Tony Iommi sound, but you've only got a $50 Smashbox. Well, guess what? He's going to show you how to get that tone and just give you some good old-fashioned gear reviews in the process. So, fuck yeah. Digging this, absolutely. You know, and this is so cool because today, holy shit, what can I say? You know, we're driving down to, obviously this is pre-recorded, but today we're driving down to Asheville, and I say we meaning the dudes, Mike and Todd and Overload, with our awesome pal Jason. He's going to be running merch for us, hopefully. So yeah, we're going to be driving down to Asheville for Steel and Stone 7, which is why Oblivion Throne is here this week, because they are on the Steel and Stone Festival along with All Hell, Temptations Wings, again, my band Overload, Children of the Reptile, and the headliners in their only appearance this year, Twisted Tower Dire from the Richmond area. So fucking hell yeah, Richmond Power Metal. And if you listened a couple of weeks ago, you know we had Dave on the show for that. And then last week, we had All Hell on with Jacob. And this has just been a super rad fucking time. I've been kicking ass. It's been so fucking cool. Just like seeing the promotion for this show and waiting on the flyer and getting everything together. But before we talk about more about Steel and Stone with Jason coming in, we're going to talk about my next show, which is going to be, this is the official announcement of it, is going to be at the Mag Bar on December the 2nd with support from the Those Who Speak Evil, as I said, you know, Daniel's band, Justin's band. What I call him Daniel because that's what I've known him as, but he goes by Justin on the YouTube channel and Metal on a Budget. Also, Kiarn from Appalachia, from like Richmond, London, Urbana area, Kentucky. They're like 2.5 hours away. Mike Brewer was on the show, and Kiarn was on a while ago, about a year ago actually, now that I think about it. But he puts on a couple of festivals a year called Mountains of Metal and Holler of Doom. So, and they're both like 2-day weekenders and so on and so forth. They put like 20 bands together, and it really kicks ass. Overload played Mountains of Metal in May of last year, and it was like it was the trial run of the show where, it was the baptism by fire, as they call it, where we, Overload, had we tested our monitors out, our in-ear system for that night, our in-ear and wireless, and making sure everything didn't go fucking haywire. It's, fun being 2 hours away from home and just being like, all right, here we go, guys. And of course we did it at practice and everything, but actually the first show out live was pretty fucking fun, because it was, late, dark, outside, fucking. There's video out there somewhere of it. I might post it on the Minute Mashups, which, how are y'all liking those? Are y'all liking the Minute Mashups? I'm thinking they're pretty fucking fun, because, hey, it's a peek in the process, right? So fuck yeah. Oh, well, hello, Jason. How are you? I was just telling everybody about the upcoming show for the Metal Forge with, like I said, Kiarn and Those Who Speak Evil, and the return of The Hell You Say. That's right, their first show back since, oh my gosh, April or something like that. And they're going to be headlining the Mag Bar. They've changed a lot of things. They've had a few member changes. They've changed the sound up a lot, and it's going to be fucking awesome. It's a $10 cover. So show starts at 9, doors are at 8. So get your asses out there, pound some fucking metal with us, and some fucking PBR, as you heard in the monologue before. So anyways, Jason, what's up, man?
Not much. Just preparing for Steel and Stone. The day this airs is the day.
Yeah, I was already talking about that. I was like, giving it away, well, we're driving down. It's like, no, we're not. You can't hear the car.
Yeah. So it's a little bittersweet, because I think the build up and anticipation is a lot of the fun. Because once it's over, it's just over. But it's time to move. What do you call it? Priority toward the holidays for the family and stuff. And the next TW chapter with recording and songwriting. So yeah, like I said, it's always kind of bittersweet because it's over, but it'll be a good time regardless.
Now, are you all, with TW, are you all like a winter hibernation band? Like middle of November, you all seem to go into hibernation and just do the writing and recording, and only the occasional show if it comes up?
Yeah, so usually after Steel and Stone, unless something just comes our way, which like it did last year, we usually just take the holiday off, and then after Thanksgiving we might get together once or twice, and then it's pretty much it until January.
I dig. See, we have a member that works for a major shipping conglomerate, and so Black Friday on until about the middle of January, because then they get the return rush, packaging and shit.
Right.
We're pretty much dead in the water. That's why, when we do get together and do studio work and stuff like that, we have the Escape from the Studio show that we do, January, February, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So right on, man. So yeah, Oblivion Throne coming on today, a Steel and Stone band this year. That's why we're doing these shows. That's why you're here, again, promoting Steel and Stone. And I was talking about these awesome ass CDs that you're having done for the first 50 people to come in to the door.
Well, actually, let's update that. There's only going to be 40 left at the door, or less, as of last Friday. So.
Okay, so we've got some pre-sales. Hell yeah, that's a cool thing. So that guarantees you a compilation disc, which is two songs from every band.
Yep.
That's on the show. So you got a total of 12 songs on the comp, which, some of them you've got that are pretty decent length songs. I know Gunslinger is 8.5 minutes from Overload. So you got some pretty cool stuff on here.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just a sample of, new and old mostly. I didn't want to put songs off the same album, 2 songs off the same album, unless they were requested that way. Because, that way you have a certain amount of that album, you feel less inclined to buy it. It's good to have a sampler of good and old. Oblivion Throne, they don't have much out. So really they have 2 songs that are not that old, but it is what it is with their discography.
Right, because they, as we'll get into the interview with them, they've only been a band a few years.
Yeah, I think I had them on their second show actually for Steel and Stone 2020.
So that's interesting. So you've got a couple of, this is a repeat band.
Yes, there's not many bands here in town that would fit the Steel and Stone criteria. So yeah, some bands have repeated. There's one called Shrunken Heads who's repeated. Oblivion Throne's repeated. Obviously, we've repeated.
Well, that's because, as much as I understand that this is one of those deals where you're working with the promoter to this show and you're doing most of the legwork. But you're doing most of the legwork and you should be able to get your band on the show, right?
Yeah, it's basically the brainchild of this was like we were never invited to festivals, so we'll just fucking have our own festival.
I get that.
Yeah, and then after we started doing it, we got invited to all kinds of stuff.
Right.
So it was like, okay, whatever, it works. But yeah, so it just worked out that way. And like I said, the first year, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, just throwing names and money out. And then, the second year, I kind of learned how things work and, went from there. So.
Definitely. Now, have you ever considered wanting to make Steel and Stone like a longer, not necessarily like 2 days or anything like that? Had you ever considered making it like a 2 o'clock to like 10 o'clock show or something, like a big 10 band show or something?
No, like I said, I was a little worried about the Friday starting early, but I think with the time change and all hell status, I think it'll be okay. But I want to give people time to like get off work and get in the mood to go out. Like people just aren't in the mood to go out at like 2 o'clock. They don't.
Well, no. Say if, for example, if it were on a Saturday again.
Yeah, even on a Saturday, like around here, it's like pulling teeth sometimes to get people to come out. Unless you're like a big name like Testament or it's like the like one of the bigger fests, like the
Blue Ridge Rock Fest.
No, not like that. There was one called Planet Caravan that was like 15 years ago. That was pretty awesome. It was an all-day fest, but it had big names on it: Clutch, Orange Goblin, I think The Obsessed, stuff like that. But yeah, like the smaller bands that nobody really knows, dude. It's just the area around here.
So
man.
basically, what you're telling me is that Planet Caravan Fest had some Doom bands on it.
Well, yeah, but it was only a one time. It was one and done. They never did it again.
Right on. See, that's one of the things that I always wonder about, like with fest things. It's like, did you not do it again because did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, or did you end up like just it failed, or even if it was a success somewhat, like you had a bunch of people there, did it actually succeed or did you break even, kind of thing? Why? I've always wondered about stuff like that, even in my area where, even when we used to have like just like shitty short run TV shows that were from here. Yeah, it's like wonder why it ever like didn't go on. Was it because due to lack of interest or whatever? That's always one of my favorite event canceled due to lack of interest.
If you're honest, dude, I kind of respect that. If it's just like, some BS excuse like Blue Ridge Rock Fest was, where they pretty much just blamed it on the weather, even though it was like sunny like 3 of the 4 days.
Right. Well, that's different. That's because that's a clusterfuck. But what I'm saying is like, when a band cancels a show and gives that as a thing, it's like, wow, man, that's gotta like hit you in the fucking psyche a little bit as a band.
Yeah, Flotsam and Jetsam just did that for their East Coast. They canceled the whole thing due to lack of ticket sales, and they said it, which is pretty cool. It sucks for them. But Flotsam and Jetsam, as legendary as they are, they're a support band. Like they're not gonna bring people.
I understand.
They have to be middle of the bill.
Right.
And then people
you're going to get the that's the thing. You're going to get the diehards out there. But are they playing to places? That's the other thing. Are they playing to places that they shouldn't be playing to because of the size of them? Are they playing like 2,000 seat halls? Because let's face it, they're probably not going to be bringing that many people. But I mean, a good like 300 or 400 cap venue might actually work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of the thing. And, you know, I think that's where one of the things I want to try and do going forward into 2024 with the Metal Forge is getting some more industry people on the show. You know, more managers, more label people. You know, maybe we can get some people from like No Remorse or some of these like Redefining Darkness, these labels and shit like that, so we can actually give people out in bands something to, you know, okay, so know where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, and then make the necessary progressions. And I think having industry people on will help that out.
Can I say one thing before we have our guests join in here?
Sure.
I found out today that my band is now classified as per industry insiders. My band would be classified as garbage tracks, as would yours, Mark. Have you heard about this?
No. Oh, yes. The
yeah.
Yes.
So I'm glad I finally have a genre that we can all belong to.
Yeah, garbage music. Yeah, the stupid fucking Spotify shit. Yeah. And
garbage tracks was the term in quotes. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this, that like, it's only a matter of time before this podcast either switches completely over to YouTube or is completely on another server, because the whole Spotify for podcasters thing, you know, it's a fucking joke. You've got to have so many unique listeners per fucking month to even get ad support, which that's so far against what fucking Anchor was even about when they started. You know, they wanted to give everybody a voice and everybody, you know, getting paid. And it just became a fucking flooded market.
It could be good for Bandcamp if this new company plays their cards right. We'll see. But they're another corporation too, so who really knows?
Right. Yeah, the whole thing with Bandcamp, you know, that's a whole other thing. So, Jason, we're going to go ahead and play some Oblivion Throne, and I'm going to take this straight off of the compilation CD, and I didn't want to do that for anybody else, but I am going to do it for these guys. So, this is from the Steel and Stone Forged in Fire compilation CD. This is from Oblivion Throne, Lust for Steel. All right, metalheads, we are on the way to Asheville, as it is, for Steel and Stone Fest. By the time this is recorded, I'm in a fucking truck right now with 3 other smelly dudes, and yeah, Jason is here, and Elan from Oblivion Throne. Dude, what is up?
Hey man, no, just looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming. We remember playing it a couple of years ago, so we're very stoked to do it again.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what Jason and I were just talking about in the monologue was, this is, the second time you all played this?
Yeah, the first time we did, it was actually probably I think it was our second show ever. So it's kind of fortuitous, it's like returning back to the roots, back to the basics.
Right, which is always such a cool thing, because I saw something a while back about it's okay to go home.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, that's pretty fucking cool. And shortly after that, I drove around my hometown that I hadn't really been to for a while. And I was just like, wow, I remember when this was this, and I remember when we used to play shows here. And I remember when we rented that building out and played shows there. So that's cool that it is like a homecoming.
Yeah, we it's funny, we've been playing probably more out of town gigs than local Asheville gigs lately. This is actually the first Oblivion Throne show in many months, so it's kind of interesting. We feel, of course, like we live at the odd, but it's when we really analyze it, we haven't been there in a while.
Right.
I mean, I saw Jason there last night. That was actually the first show I had actually attended for a couple of months too. So, I mean, I guess have all just been kind of busy, but
for sure,
it's been good.
Now, when it comes, okay, so for me, when I don't go to shows, hitting the wall and just needing some time off, when I don't go to shows for a while and I see shows and I'm just I feel kind of bad about not going. It's oh man, I really would like to go to this, but this couch feels pretty fucking good right now. Do you get that way too? Where you're just man, I want to go, but nah.
Yeah, it's kind of it just depends. When we're playing a lot of gigs and such, we need some downtime. I mean, right. My lady and I just adopted a puppy, so we're just kind of, we got our hands full, figuratively and literally.
Right. Jason, didn't you all just get a new puppy too?
Yes.
Nice. He said that so stoic.
I know. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. No, you probably had to deal with the same thing we did tonight then. But no, it's been good, and we do need our downtime. But I'm also one of those people I need to go see my people,
right?
So, and that's the cool thing about this show is at this point we've accumulated so many people that we respect and that people that we have reached or have reached us, and seeing them at this festival is just it's a big bro fest or sis fest,
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Definitely. And I had Jason's band on Temptation's Wings back in February of last year, and ever since then, we've been how can we make this scene everything better with the metal scene between here and there, and fucking, hey, have you heard this band and shit like that. And yeah, you're totally right. It's that's the show that I just put on a few weeks back was the same way. Everybody was so cool with everybody. There was no bullshit between anybody. It was just dude, it's been so long since I've seen you. How the fuck have you been? And
yeah,
it was like a big bro, it was metal fam fest.
Yeah. And it's I do kind of have that conviction. I probably see people far less than my other bandmates do, I mean, our bassist right now is working, or maybe it was yesterday, but working the Mass Destruction Metal Fest, and Alex is out playing with Rocky Mountain Roller a lot, so they're all seeing people all the time. I'm working and trying to take care of crap at home. But we're just happy to see as many people as we can. And the thing is, and I was talking with Jason last night, was about how different types of people from elsewhere come out to this thing too. We had a guy from Brazil, he said last time. So
yeah, for the Night Demon one. Yeah, he didn't come from Brazil to the show, but he was from Brazil and saw that the show was happening and made it over.
Dude, that's crazy shit, because hey, I've had similar experiences at shows, and it's so fucking rad to say, hey, I'm from South America. Yeah, I'm here on holiday, but I chose to come to this show, and it's like, that's fucking awesome. Whether or not, hey, that's just like perfection right there. It's like looking it up, seeing, holy shit, I like this band. They're playing this. That's an hour or so away. I'll go to it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I know Night Demon brought him there. Night Demon brought about 60% of that crowd that year from all over the place. I mean, it was like the first show since COVID. They had the singles come out that they had never played before, so there was like new songs premiered at that show, and it was like intimate. Like, it's really, there's not much room to not be in front of the band, which is nice. 20 people looks crowded, kind of thing, kind of room. But it was packed in there, man. Like, I was pretty happy, and all quotas were met as far as the guarantees and stuff, and nobody complained, and everyone had a good time. And
that's all that matters, awesome, man. As long as everybody got what they were asking, and everybody had a great time, that's awesome. That's a fucking win.
The first time I picked the band up from the airport before, which was fucking cool.
So here's something that's funny, and I'm gonna bring this up here, Jason. Okay. You told me a while back, you're like, man, I never experienced the shows where things happen. It's like, but yet you'd say this fucking great story about the Night Demon's first show back from the fucking pandemic is in fucking Asheville at Steel and Stone, and they're playing four brand new fucking songs.
What I meant was, like, Richie Faulkner having a aortic heart attack while playing the Painkiller solo.
I was there.
That's like in metal, like, history from now on.
Yeah, I was there.
Rob Halford singing for Judas Priest for 2 shows. Iron Maiden getting eggs thrown at him at Ozfest, like stuff like that. It seems like I'm always like
Rob singing for Black Sabbath.
I'm like always like one show late from that stuff happening.
I was at that show, at the Judas Priest show, like 2 nights before that whole thing happened. So I was like, when that happened, me and my lady, we just looked at each other like, wow, we got really lucky that we saw that. But like, my God, I hope he's okay too.
Well, to be honest too, though, that show was at a festival. It was at Louder Than Life. It was on the Sunday night. I was there, and that was actually their last song.
Oh, wow.
They didn't cut their set short. They were playing an hour set that night because Metallica was playing after them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a completely fucked up thing. I was at Dusty Hill's last show. So, wow. Yeah. I know, Jason, but still, it's like, but that's a pretty rad fucking story about the Night Demon thing, because those fucking pandemic singles that they did are all great.
Yeah, I think so too.
Are You Out There is probably my favorite.
I think that was actually the one that got lost. The vinyls got lost, because I had them all except for the one that got lost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like it's out there somewhere. Nobody knows where. I mean, they refunded my money.
So yours got lost.
Yeah. No, everyone did. The whole shipment. They don't exist.
Oh, shit. Dude, I wonder if it's going to be like the fucking, like the Indiana Pacers fucking NBA champion shirts that never existed. Because they're always, at all the sporting events, how they have like the fucking, everybody's already wearing a fucking world champion shirt.
Sure.
And so, but all of the team that didn't win, they get shipped to like fucking like poor countries and shit for
Yeah.
clothing. I wonder
It's
if
funny when
that's
you
what's
see,
happened to the Night Demon albums.
I don't know. It's funny when you see like so I'm like a Panthers fan since like day one, and it's funny when you like they've been to 2 Super Bowls and obviously lost 2 Super Bowls. But it's funny when you see the pictures of like the orphan children like over in like North Africa or something, like wearing like, you know, the Carolina Panthers 2015 world champs. It's like, yeah. It's like, almost, but
I mean, this is kind of like the new Chinese democracy. Maybe eventually will be made. You know,
maybe.
Oh,
One
wow.
day.
Yeah, but see, no, this was actually a lost shipment. I mean, dude, he actually fucking sued the Offspring because they were going to use that album title because he never was going to release anything.
Yeah.
man.
And won that lawsuit. So
Yeah.
fuck him.
I mean, it was probably trademarked because everyone had this title for like years and years. It was like it had to be trademarked.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, it's huge business. Trademarking's huge business in business. So it's like the more it's like, why is it with like Gene Simmons? It's like the more content you own, the more value it exudes or whatever, which is. Obviously, it's not, because here we are at episode 249.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes time. It takes time to, you know, make a few pennies. You got to really put the work in.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. So I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here. You're actually pulling double duty tonight as well, right?
Yeah. Basically, All Hell is doing I can't remember, a 6 or 7 date kind of like regional mini tour. We're actually coming back from the coast to play this, and then going back over to the coast the next night too. But yeah, it's just way too important of a gig. We were just like, you know what, we got to make it back, and you know, I'm definitely not gonna miss doing an Oblivion Throne set. You know, I think that's kind of like the thing. So. It's going to be interesting. I'm gonna need some water and an alcoholic beverage or 3 at the end of the night. But you know, so
it's going to be an awesome deal. And you know, I always my guitar player has another band, and where he's a drummer in it, and I always try to like, you know, try to not book him and the other band, so he's not doing double duty playing with us and them. So it's like,
yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it happens.
Well, and they all asked me, and I'm like, well, yeah, we got to make this happen. Because it was just like, for Oblivion Throne, we wanted to return, you know, and do this fest again. And All Hell wanted to do it. And we were just like, you know what, we got to get them in somehow. And I'm just like, you know what? And I've done it before. I've done double duty with these 2 bands before. It wasn't easy, but heck with it, you know.
So
are you full time in All Hell, or are you just fill in until they find someone?
You know, it's not like official or anything. Right. I'll let them kind of make that, you know.
It's official until it's
make
not.
That call. Well, you know, I'm just
because you weren't listed on the last EP. I know.
Yeah, I wasn't on that last EP. That was a guy by the name of Cameron. So yeah, I've just been filling in and taking care of, you know, the gigs and whatnot. And
yeah,
it's been a while now. I mean, we've been working together for a while, and I think, you know, we're looking toward the future. So we'll just kind of see how things go.
Hell yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a little bit of the Asheville music scene there coming out. I know I talk about Louisville's all the time on here because that's what I know. So
Asheville music scene, 3 drummers, 12 bands each.
Yeah. Yep.
And how many of them have interchangeable members, though?
Oof.
2 right now.
I'm kind of out of the loop now, so I wouldn't really know. But I'm sure there's a math equation I can do to find out.
Yeah. Well, I just know within our band, there's so many. There's like the stratosphere of other bands that we're involved with too. It's funny. I mean, Alex just released a solo. Well, okay, he had like a bassist help him actually, but it's like another project. It's kind of like a D beat sort of crossover thing. I mean, dude's getting prolific, so quickly, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, wow, we really all do have so much going on. I'm just glad we can make this work.
Right.
For sure. Yeah. Now, when it comes to stuff like that, where, you all have, like, say, different bands, and I'm of one to sit there and say that anybody, for the most part, metal-wise, can play with other metal bands. Because, yeah, you can have some thrash bands with some, with some black bands or some death bands or whatever, and there's enough genre skirt to where somebody's going to be satisfied no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So have you all ever considered doing like the tour package of interchangeable members bands where, you might have and do like a gear share?
I mean, it's not off the table for sure. We've talked about doing kind of like mini runs before, and it still might happen. I'm very much down, because at the end of the day, it's like once you get done with one set, you're warmed up enough for another set if you're not like dying yet.
Right.
So.
Yeah, as long as it's not in the middle
see.
of summer, right? And you're playing
Right.
outside shows.
Ooh, yeah. No, I mean, usually it's like, and I don't know what it is, but by the end of a set, it's like that's when I start feeling like, all right, I'm warmed up now. You know?
My thing is like when I played shows where I like set up my drums and just like waited for like hours, I find that my I don't know, like I'm not as good, but like when I have to like carry the drums up the steps, set them up, like sound check them and stuff, it's like, man, I feel so much better when I get playing. I'm like, I'm already loose and all that. You're like kind of like ready to go, or instead of like waiting around, So I found out that my personal preference is just setting up in between bands and going.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think for me, it's just like sitting around, and that's what I always hated about like the 4 p.m. load in for like an 8 o'clock show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, there might have been 5 bands on there, but then you have like 5 drummers all setting their shit up, if there's room for it. Room for it. And then it's like they're all fucking, and then one dude fucking starts something with the other dude, and it's like, come on, guys, Jesus fuck.
I'm just glad that the Odd has like a decent like green room area, because like that's the main thing. As long as there's a place where we can all set up our stuff like individually and feel like we have enough room to move around, like, that's so important, because there's so many venues where it's like, oh, well, you're going to have to wait until the band's done to get your gear out of your car and then set up. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You know how many drums I have,
Yeah, like I said, I've told all the band, like, just wait until the band before you is loading in and just load in. And
Yeah.
because, like, you have to share with the staff also, getting the supplies out, like the ice and the beer and stuff. So it's like it's kind of tight for 6 bands, but since you're 2 drummers, it might not be terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Which is totally rad as well. So with Oblivion Throne, what do you all have coming up next after Steel and Stone?
Well, right now it's actually kind of like a rarity that we're even doing a show, because we're kind of in the middle of a writing process, and
Escape from the studio.
It's been going, it's been going kind of gradually, and I think we're really spending some hard time on it, because we want to make sure it's like a step up from the EP. We don't want to go back. We want to keep progressing.
Back.
So. Yeah.
There is no back. There is only forward.
You know what I mean, though.
Jason, you should know where that's from.
Yeah. Oh, I know what that's from.
It's George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
There is no back. There's only forward. No, I agree, and that's what I think. I would have liked to have done more in our, like decade ago in our writing stuff, where we were putting out an album a year. Would have loved to have taken a little bit more time and care with some things. So But yeah, everybody has their own way of doing it. And there is no competition. There is no race. There is no right or wrong way.
Yeah. The thing that traps you the most usually is labels.
Yeah.
And right now, I mean, we've gotten offers, but we're just like, yeah, you know, we've gotten offers, but we're like, you know, we don't really think any of these are going to be what we have in mind for us, you know. So right now we can leisurely write for as long as we want. Because, I mean, if you look at Oblivion Throne's first couple of outputs, they were all released like within earshot of each other kind of rapidly.
Right.
So, you know, right now we're taking our time, which is a first for us, you know.
Right, definitely.
I find it better if you just have it done and then shop it before you release anything.
Yeah.
Labels like that hype posts.
Yep.
To get some clicks onto the rest of their catalog also. So if you get it done and then just take your time and you can sit on it and shop it around, I think that's the way to go, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, it's done. It's kind of like a take it or leave it thing. It's not like, oh, you have to write like this one song for it. We want like something that's more accessible. It's like, no, this is what it is. Here's the art. Here's the songs. This is done. Take it or leave it. So,
and truth be told, you know, when it's stuff like that, Jason, I think it's more along the lines of like more commercialized labels that ask that shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't say like Wise Blood or anything like that would.
No, nor would I say like even Century Media would.
It's hard to say, man. Like, I don't know. I think Century Media is a little bit into that because they want to make money too, you know.
Right, and you know, and that was me being the asshole a few weeks back. It was about a month ago, and I don't know if I know I said this to you in private, but I'm actually going to come out and say this here. It was just like, it was a real asshole-ish way of thinking about things label-wise, because I'm part of a media share deal with a few people, and you know, I had got a few advanced copies of some albums, and I was just like, wow, this is the band that's like selling records to teenagers to make sure bands like the ones that I like the thrash bands that are like the old school thrash bands that are on this label are still able to put out albums, because some fucking like Formula-matic fucking I don't know, like teenager rock or teenager metal, you know, is like selling enough for both of them. and you know, and I kind of feel bad about that, because everybody's allowed to like what they want to like. You know, whether it be fucking Exodus or Shooter Jennings, you know, I like both of them. You know,
yeah.
And I like Lita Ford singing with Ozzy.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you say that. I think like I keep seeing all these, especially black metal bands. It's like doing the same thing that has been done for such a long time. It's like, you know, but if that's what gets people into kind of like a gateway of something that means something to them, then so awesome. You know, it's just the only thing that I don't like is when people become like a parodical version of like the genre they're trying to represent, you know? And that happens way too much. I mean, if you ask me, I think the strange thing about a lot of bands, especially in the States, is they're almost like afraid to take themselves seriously, because everybody else is like being the parody band, you know? It's like, well, we actually mean what we're saying, you know? That takes some guts to do.
Well, and I think that's a double-edged sword too, because I see a lot of bands that do take themselves way too seriously.
True.
You know,
especially in black metal, yeah.
Oh, yes. So how many is that? Three pieces there, Jason, playing on this show?
Yeah, it's all hell, Oblivion Throne, and you guys. Yeah.
Wow. Hell yeah. Power Trio, way to go. Fucking, this is the Power Trio Fest now.
Yep.
Well, half the lineup's 3-piece, and the other half, me and us and Reptile 4, and then Twisted Tower is 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn, man. That's awesome. See, hey, and it'll be fucking fun as shit. I'm looking forward to it. First time in Asheville for me, so
Sweet. Hell yeah.
well,
Man.
that I ever remember.
Before we move on, let's talk about trios. Me and Elan real quick about that Howling Giant performance last night.
Oh my god.
Would you say Zach is like probably like the wildest drummer you've ever seen? Like
That was.
played.
I mean, yeah, he didn't miss a single hit, and every single hit was like Eloy Casagrande's sort of like, just smashing the shit out of it. And I mean, you can tell he took time to tune his kit very well, and he's doing vocals. I mean, the stage presence was there, but the whole band, I mean, the energy was like, it was top tier.
Yeah,
The whole show, everybody did a very good job.
25 people like there maybe watching.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised that we even had that with that one gig falling out. But that was. I mean, I always watch bands like that, and I'm like, how are you guys on tour, like doing this every night? You know, with this sort of like charisma,
Right.
Yeah, I was telling Mark like it might have been the best drumming performance I've ever seen as far as heart goes.
Hopefully, I'll get to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully you do. Yeah, he's like he's worth the price of admission alone.
Oh,
the other guys are great too. So don't get me wrong, but like just like the drumming on this new stuff he's done and these live shows is like it's something to see, especially up close and personal. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And actually, believe it or not, I had not actually listened to them before.
Oh, really?
I was more familiar with, Black Tusk, obviously, but when they dropped off, I was like, I was mostly there to see my buddy Paul in Shadow Cloak. And
I've never seen them before. They were pretty good, man.
Oh my god, yeah, that dude is one of the best bass players I've ever met. By the way,
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, Howling Giant definitely like made a fan out of me immediately. That was interesting.
Yeah, let's just put it this way: if drum sets could press charges, Zach would be locked up for a long time.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Stop drum abuse.
Yeah. Hopefully they're going to be on soon. Reached out. We're just trying to work it out. Get ready for a night of face-melting metal. Friday, November 10th at the Odd in West Asheville. It is the return of the annual Steel and Stone Fest, featuring the only performance of the year from the North Carolina power metal legends Twisted Tower Dire. The rest of the lineup includes metal bands from Asheville and surrounding areas. Children of the Reptile, Oblivion Throne, Overload, Temptation's Wings, and All Hell. $12 in advance, $15 at the door. First 50 people get a free comp CD. Doors are at 4, the music is at 7. For advance tickets, go to steelandstonefest.com. Be there. We're going to go ahead and switch over to Derailed here. This is 5 questions about you as a person, and because he's here, he's going to get to answer them too, Jason.
Yay.
Yep. Let's go.
Question 1. What is your favorite film sequel?
All right, who's going first here?
You have to. You're the guest. Guest
God,
star.
me? I can't even remember the last time I watched a sequel. I don't know. Probably Empire Strikes Back.
Ooh.
It's got this like atmosphere where it just leaves a lot of tension still in the air, and I love how unresolved it is. It's so operatic and strange in that way.
I was seriously hoping you were going to go straight into Dante from Clerks.
Oh, God.
And Luke gets his hand cut off and Han's frozen in carbonite. It's just a series of downs. And that's all life is a series of downs.
Oh, man. Yeah, go full on Kevin Smith on you, man.
I know, man. Fucking ESB, though, that's a good choice, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's also the only one I can think of right now.
Hey, but if to choose, though, that is a great one. ESV is probably, I don't know, it's probably my favorite Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of parallels between that film and Irish mythology. If you read about Nuada of the Silver Hand, like it's kind of interesting there. I don't think a whole lot of people get that, but you could tell George Lucas did his sociological, anthropological history. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he was very much really did a lot of research on that. I can't think of what I was going to say, but Jason, what's your favorite film sequel?
I mean, this could be a long subject. I'm just going to pick one that's not Empire because obviously it's Taken. I'll probably go.
It's
so many.
It's The Last Jedi, isn't it?
Sorry.
No, it's not. It's fine. I'll probably go Terminator 2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That was hard to beat.
That is very hard to beat. Wow. So if I got to answer this now too.
Yep. You can't get off scot-free.
No. So for me, like, because I'm a huge Phantasm fan, I am not going to say Phantasm 2, 3, 4, or 5. So I will say, though, Batman Returns.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice one. Yeah. I mean, I could have gone Aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
I could have gone, I mean, there's so.
But you did pick another Cameron film, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because I know Cameron is a big he's a 80s fucking icon.
Yeah, dude,
you know?
I cut my teeth on 80s movies on network TV with commercials on Sundays, dude. I was like, that was my thing. Conan the Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, double feature. Sometimes you get Red Sonja. Why not?
Oh man, why didn't I pick Conan the Destroyer? That's
Conan the Destroyer it's not a great sequel. It can't be as shit and fun, but it's.
I mean, smashing a bunch of mirrors and a guy that looks like a monkey, like hybridized with like the what was it, the Raisin Men from the 80s? Yeah.
I mean, I like Conan the Destroyer a lot. Don't get me wrong, but compared to Barbarian, it's not. It's not as good.
At least
it missed something, but it can't be as shit.
At least somebody didn't say like Halloween 2. But the remake of it, though. The remake sequel, Halloween 2. No.
Oh, God.
See, there's always that one that nobody would want to pick.
I mean, I didn't know we could go past the second movie in a series because I mean, there's other ones too.
Well, I said sequel. That sequel is, but sequels are movies after the original.
Because I would go Star Trek 2 and 6 is a really close runner-up for me.
Oh yeah,
6, yeah, 6. I would 4
2 especially, but 6 is really good too.
4 is great.
Good.
4 is great.
It's not 2 or 6. Yeah, it's not 2 or 6.
Dude, 4 is great. You're right. It's better than both because only for one scene. Well, 2 scenes.
If you weren't the fucking host, I'd hang up on you for that blasphemous comment.
2 scenes. 2 scenes. Spock on the bus with the punk.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh God.
Yep, with the nerve pinch. Yeah. And Scotty trying to talk into the computer mouse.
Yeah. Those nuclear vessels, man. Yeah.
Nuclear vessels.
Oh yeah, check off. Yeah.
We need your nuclear vessels. What is your biggest goal for 2023? And did you accomplish it?
So actually, this is the only year that's actually like been very fortuitous in that way. Like my big goal several years ago actually was to get to the point where I could travel out of the country and play drums somewhere. And with another band that actually happened this year. I can't really say that it was like a particularly 2023 goal, but it was like I felt like there was a lot build up to that. And so that was kind of like a big thing for me. And I think like musically speaking, this has been my like best year ever, really. So I don't know. It just kind of happened that way, but
fuck yeah, man. Dude, that's awesome though, to be able to go out of the country and perform your craft, right?
Yeah.
What country did you go to?
Yeah.
I went to Colombia for 2 weeks.
Oh, nice. Who'd you play with?
This is a band called Inferion. Did a record with them last year.
Holy shit, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it was just kind of one of those things. That band's been around for like two and a half decades, so they kind of have a fan base down there.
Yeah.
And so doing the new record, of course, I was kind of like, well, I hope they like this one too, because I'm the new guy. But yeah, that really, it went off so well, and the people there are incredible. And now I'm just trying to get everybody that I know to go down there and play, because like they're so hungry down there.
Right.
Awesome place.
Definitely, dude. I had Hugo from Witch Trap. From Bogota, Colombia on back in 21, I believe. And like, absolutely, dude. He talks about how when they first started, they fucking played on like fucking like nothing. You know, like fucking like drums were actually fucking trash cans and shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then like to see how things have changed over the last like 30 years, you know, is so wild.
It's extremely impressive because, and actually Witch Trap, like they were on the same promotion team that we were on, like prior to us getting on.
Hell yeah.
But we saw like some venues that were just still kind of coming up. And then we also saw venues where it was like the middle of the town, like an arena where like, or not an arena, like a coliseum type of thing. Like the city government is sponsoring it. It's like metal, like they understand metal down there in a way that a lot of people even here can't. So it's like, it's something to pay attention to, man.
Definitely. Hell yeah. Jason, what about you?
I don't know if I really hit any goals I set out for. Just, I think we've been writing really good stuff. I mean, obviously we didn't record or anything or play anything new, but the writing has been pretty damn fun and inspired. So hopefully 24 will, well, I know 24 will have some stuff out. Not an album, but I think we're going to do digital singles and then release it on a collection in 25.
Hell yeah.
That's the plan. So.
Right on. For me, I had one goal. Well, I had 3 total. One of which has not yet happened. Hopefully, that's today. So once I get to Asheville,
opening a show for Twisted Tower Dyer.
Yeah, exactly. Going to fuck up Rocky's Hot Chicken Shack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to do that. But no, big goddamn metal show. I set out to do that and accomplished. That was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, man.
And we did get something recorded. It's just not released yet.
Sweet.
So, and it is a new single. Hopefully it'll be out soon.
Awesome.
If you could vacation on the moon, if that were a thing, would you do it?
That's a tough question. Like me and my lady we kind of both have more of an interest in our own ocean than we do with space.
Okay.
I'd rather personally have us go to like an island in the middle of nowhere than try to figure out the whole not having gravity thing.
Understandable. So in the inverse of that, would you all end up doing something aside from the whole Ocean Gate debacle thing? Okay, aside from all of that, would you all end up doing something like what Jim Cameron did, where he actually had, got a deep sea diving bell, fucking, and actually go down into the ocean?
Now that's a tough one for me because like
that's frightening.
It's a big passion of mine, like marine biology and stuff. But I'm also extremely claustrophobic. Like I don't even do elevators, so I'm just like I'll just observe it from the I'll observe it from the deck. I think I'm good. I'll let somebody else do that.
Definitely, yeah. For me, it always drove me crazy. Fucking. In Mario 64, because they actually put the air meter on Mario, and I would always drown his ass, and it gave me like PTSD to this day. I still can't, from like being like 14, I can't get over that shit.
Well, do you remember that anxiety-laden music that they would play every time Sonic was drowning?
Yeah.
It was like this. It's just like
Yep.
I can't think of any metal band that gets that tense. You know?
Right.
Ugh.
Jason, being the fan of Star Trek and Star Wars, would you do it?
No, not the moon. I would go to Mars because that shit in Total Recall looks wild as fuck.
Kuato lives.
Yeah, I would totally go there. Yeah.
You're gonna fucking.
If I see you with like bulging eyeballs, I'll know why. Yeah.
Fucking pulling a fucking tracking beacon out of his nose.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I watched that when I was like, I think it came out when I was like 10 or 11 years old.
Came out in 1990.
That was some shit that I'd never seen before, man. Like, from just like pulling an orb out of his nose, like not really knowing which character he was, like Hauser or Quaid, the fucking mutant revolution, the backstabbing, like Benny, like having the like weird hand that he kept folded up, the three breasted lady, you know.
I like how he listed so many things before that we all knew was going to be on the list.
Oh, I got more, and it's just like, you know, like
Michael Ironsides.
No, Sharon Stone being in it, not really knowing it was his wife or like a spy. I tried to kill him and shit, and it's like, it was wild, man. Like that shit was cool as shit, you know.
You're not you, you're me.
Yeah, exactly. It's so quotable too, you know. Yeah, so
and Marshall Bell as is in there. He's the one who has Kuato in his stomach.
Yeah, man, and Uncle Hank from Breaking Bad is also in that.
Yeah, Dean Norris. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's Tony, the fucked up looking dude that, you know, Arnold cracks on. It's pretty funny. So
interesting.
I think the quote is like, I think he tells Arnold, "You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here," and he looks back at him like, "Look who's talking." But it's so funny because it's like such deadpan delivery, man.
Dude, the insane thing about that is like, man, if you actually ever read We Can Remember It For You Wholesale, it's not that at all.
Yeah, I know.
All of the Mars shit is completely different. It's all the Quaid stuff where it's like he doesn't know what he is. But like, no, the Mars shit, that's all fucking something else.
Yeah.
Which historical figure is to you as a hero or as inspirational?
Okay, this is the first one that comes to mind is which one was it? Hannibal of Carthage. I don't know if it was the first or second one, but it was during the Second Punic Wars between Carthage and Rome. So Carthage is in modern-day Tunisia, North Africa, and they wanted to surprise the Romans on their own ground. So what they did is they went all the way through the Strait of Gibraltar, up through like Spain and France and like through the Alps and shit with war elephants and a bunch of mercenaries that they just found in like Spain. Came in from the north, like, so they basically did like a clockwise motion and attacked Rome from the north, and they still lost, but still it's like, that's so ballsy. Like I can't even imagine just like leading that expedition for like 2 years of like marching this entire troop with war elephants over mountains and through like a stream with like makeshift rafts and shit. It was insane. Right.
And, you know, and like you said, like the 2-year journey to walk there and to march it, you know, that's the crazy stuff.
I mean, it's
insane.
like, dude, how do you, like, what happens if you get there and like that place is like deserted? Like you wasted 2 years, you know? It's like,
well, like I said, they still lost, you know?
Yeah, nobody can run and tell you like, hey, you turn around because they left, you know? It's like, it'd take them 1.5 years to catch up, you know? So yeah, it's pretty wild, that stuff back then. It just took a long time, was no big deal because that's all they had was time.
Yeah, don't quote me on the 2 years thing. I don't remember, but
even still, even if it was like a year, like a lot happens in a year, you know. And I'm sure a lot now happens in a year, like. Especially like then when people were only living to like 40 years old because of like dysentery and shit like that, or the bloody flux. and then they're fucking sitting there like dying off. It's like, how do you even know this fucker's going to be in charge when you come back?
Yeah.
You're going to storm the city just because some asshole who fucking died of dysentery.
Well, that's just them keeping a grudge, man. Like, if you really think about it, it's like the pettiest thing ever. I mean, it wasn't petty in the sense, like, because, like, Rome was pretty much, like, colonizing them and saying, like, we're going to take you over. But, you know, that's, like, the most, like, fuck you attitude ever, if you really think about it. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy.
Jason, what about you?
Does it have to be, like, a well-known figure or just, like...
A historical figure. I mean, I would look at a historical figure to be somebody who died before your lifetime.
Okay, so I'm just wondering what the criteria was. I had a couple.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like Abraham Lincoln, or it could be Hank fucking Williams. I don't care.
No, I'd probably go Benjamin Franklin. Dude, he invented electricity, which like changed the world. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know, I look at his writing to be more.
I don't mean it. Yeah, I mean, it was the writing, it was the planning, it was the, you know, like he was just like he was like super smart, but he was like ugly as fuck. He was a womanizer, which is like, I mean, not saying that the womanizer part was cool, but like he was just like he had a lot of confidence where he could like, you know, he was so ugly and like unattractive, but dude, he like just these women like. You know, there's something about him where he was just like he just used his like he just used like his wits and stuff to like just get his way to people to do things. You know, like he's the one that told George Washington like you should be president. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
damn.
Like, he was really smart, and like I said, the electricity thing. I mean, I know he didn't figure out a way to charge for it, but you know that's a big step in human history. Is
Thomas Edison did, didn't he?
Yeah, Edison sure did, but yeah, I mean, like, but they wouldn't have been there without Benjamin Franklin. So,
right.
I mean, besides the caveman who made the wheel, I would say Benjamin Franklin was pretty important to mankind.
Definitely. You know, Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, because you know he lived such a crazy fucking life. You know, I think when you think of like a real life Indiana Jones for all it's worth, he was probably it. Like, you know, he was running away from home at like 12 years old to join the Civil War. You know, and that fuck, man, that was the 1860s, and then, you know, he died in 1929.
If you had to pick between one movie version of Wyatt Earp, you going Kurt Russell or Kevin Costner?
Oh, dude.
Damn.
Dude, honestly, I am going to go with Tombstone, of course.
Yeah.
But I do like the Kevin Costner one, too, because I like Dennis Quaid playing Doc Holliday.
Right.
Because of one line he says in there. He's just like so completely off the wall and tells some fucking person to kiss his wrinkled dick.
I've only seen that movie once. I don't even remember that. I have to watch that again one day.
Yeah. It's pretty good. Dude, I have one more question, but before we get into it, as always, links are listed below, so please give a like, share, and a follow. Go buy merch. Come out tonight to Steel and Stone 7 to watch Oblivion Throne, All Hell, Temptation's Wings, Overload, Children of the Reptile, and Twisted Tower Tire. If you're in the Asheville area, it's limited to 100 people. Elan, do you have any shout-outs you want to give today?
Oh, man, so many. Well, first thing is my girlfriend, Brooke. I mean, really, she is pretty much behind the scenes the person that, like, makes a lot of this stuff happen with the support and everything. So, pretty much, like, the main person behind all of that. Besides that, I mean, yeah, like all the bands, the promoters, the Odd, you know, Kronk always takes good care of us. The bartenders are always super cool. I mean, everybody down to the people who clean the place. Everybody's just really special there. And we're all extremely appreciative. And, as far as just like the Asheville and North Carolina music scene, I think we talk about this a lot, but we're sort of experiencing like a renaissance in the metal community that I think is becoming renowned kind of over a national attention. So, people from Chicago will say like, "Oh yeah, we've heard of Asheville's scene, and like we want to go check it out." So
Definitely.
I think all of our bands and all of the bands that we know, I think people are keeping an eye out, and it makes me very happy to see. So,
Well, I think too. I think the guy here with us has a lot to do with that.
oh yeah,
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Because
you.
you've done this show for 7 years now, and dude, I do think you've got a lot to do with that. You talk up Asheville a lot, and people see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's people here that have a passion for it. I see a lot. I wouldn't say a lot. I see the same people at shows more often than not. Actually, I was gonna say I was surprised I didn't see Alex last night because he's usually at every show
yeah,
when he's not playing. So it was surprising that I saw you instead, which I wasn't disappointed. I was like, oh shit, Alex ain't here, but another Oblivion Throne member is here in attendance. So that's really cool.
But you
And,
said you'd wanted to talk to him anyway, so it worked out.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
we're
found out we got a little bit of a scheduling and conversation figured out, and everything's good to go now.
It's serendipitous.
it was.
See?
And that's like the rare occasion that I actually was able to come out. So
Yeah.
Right.
it worked out. Yeah.
And the conversation was, I'm not afraid to say it, like, do you want to play back to back or do you want to break?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Because
I'll take a
I'll
break.
accommodate
Man.
either way. So
Yep.
Hell yeah. So fuck yeah, dude. My last question of the day is, just like in prison, if you got to choose your last meal, what would it be? And before you answer, because I want to end this on you, Jason, what's your answer? What would your
My
last
last
meal
meal?
be?
man, it'd probably be some fucking awesome tacos from a taco truck, to be honest with you.
That's a good one.
I don't, I've never hated a taco before. Like even like Taco Bell has some appeal to it, and like you can just get really good shit from a food truck, man. Like
I never
I'm
met
not talking
a
like I'm not
taco
talking
that
like some
I hated.
designer like taco Mexican restaurant food truck. I mean like the Mexicans who like moved here and like bought a truck and like on the side of the road like in the like
In
West
the
Asheville or
Advanced
something
Auto
like that.
Parts parking lot.
Or
Yeah.
even like Home Depot or Lowe's they set up there.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm talking like the authentic Mexican tacos from a taco truck. I would probably get like 4 of them in a beer, and that would be my last meal. I'd be good with it.
Right on.
Or a really good pizza. I'm simple.
All right. That's a very good answer. It's a very good answer. Currently, I would probably have to say it would be the it is a Mexican as well. It's like the Monica platter is what it would be called, or the Ishmael, where it has queso, rice, chicken, and shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. And it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, Elan's final meal. You can get to choose. You're not in prison. You're not on death row. You just get to choose your last meal, and that's it.
Man, we just came back from that Bodiwala place that just opened in West Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to say that.
Holy
it was
shit.
so good, man. If whatever you guys are, I told my buddy earlier, I was like, whatever you're planning on eating for dinner, throw it in the trash and go over to Bodiwala. Like that place is really good, man. Same people that run Chai Pani. So yeah, it's crazy.
Real quick before we go,
Yeah.
me and Jackie went out. My wife went out the other day, and we went to a Japanese steakhouse. Have you ever noticed how similar Asian food and Mexican food really is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's mostly just protein and rice and like just a delivery system, whether it's like wrapped up in something or something on noodles or something. It's like, dude, it's almost the same. It's like wild how the cultures are so far apart, like geographically and like just culturally. Yet the food is, I would say 85% the exact same thing with different spices or sauce.
Right.
It's wild. It's like people who like drew mermaids in like South America and like in Russia or something. It's like like way back when, like cave drawings. Like they never met each other, but they drew the same thing. Like, how?
That's because we're all interconnected.
Yeah, it's just wild stuff, man. I just get a kick out of like watching stuff about that, like theories and stuff like that, you know.
Because that's the whole thing. Yeah, they may have never met each other, but you know, going back even farther before that, like with Pangea and shit.
Yeah. There's a documentary on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. It's like I should really look it up and say it, but
they keep begging me to come back to them.
Yeah, it's about this guy who was like ostracized from the scientific community about his theories. And basically his theory was the city of Atlantis was real and they knew they were about to go under, and they like traveled the world like telling people how to build pyramids and stuff in different countries to get above sea level. Like they were about to be engulfed by. And it's pretty wild how it all kind of really makes sense after listening to this guy. But
did they not go to the Netherlands then? Or
yeah, he went to a lot of places. He went to Mexico. He went to everywhere with pyramids of some kind. He went to and was like showing similarities between all the pyramids, like what they had in common, you know, from like and how they were like taught to build stuff with, you know, no modern machinery. You know, it was all like counterbalances and hoists. And I'm sure slavery was, you know, a big part. But yeah, you do what you do back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was actually really created by the predators.
Could be. Temples to clean their prey off and stuff. Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I really think it's that. No.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, there's no proof that it wasn't, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, right. I mean, hey, if you can dream it.
It's like people say that aliens don't exist. Like, but how the fuck do you know definitively? Right. You know, it's
don't.
Always like maybe.
I mean, you have to be a selfish,
that's what an intelligent person would say. Is it could be, because I don't know for sure.
Right.
Well, and if we're expecting them to be like anthropomorphic, like we are, we're never gonna know. You know?
Yeah, dude. The movie Arrival that came out like I think like 5 or 6 years ago about the code breakers who like they sent in to talk to this like alien that wasn't like a human of any kind.
Yeah.
That movie is like one of my like low key favorite movies, because it's like, man, what if? Dude, it's so wild.
Right.
Yeah.
And I even like The Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
Dude, that's digging deep, man. That's like some fucking straight to like DVD and the heyday stuff right there.
No, that was even on VHS, man.
I was.
Yeah, that was in like the late 90s. That was like 99.
Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
And that's actually based on a true story. But yeah, we're getting into Mudhorn territory there.
Yeah, the scariest alien movie I've ever watched that wasn't like, you know, Alien or Aliens was Fire in the Sky. I watched that movie one time and I'll never watch it again.
I love that movie.
Those abduction scenes are so fucking visceral that I cannot do that, because it seemed like that would be the way it went for me.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my
fucking
luck.
Putting the fucking all thread in your fucking throat, holding your mouth open and throwing grease in your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gross, dude.
That shit's terrifying, dude, that movie. If you've never seen it, watch it with your girlfriend or significant other if they're, you know, kind of wussy about stuff like that. They'll probably leave you and, you know, punch in the mouth. But,
Dude. What the hell? Why do we get so dark all of a sudden?
Those scenes are hard to watch, because Steel and Stone is a fun family-friendly event.
So yeah, you should fucking like don't watch Fire in the Sky, don't get divorced, and fucking come out to Steel and Stone.
And don't watch Event Horizon before bed either. My God.
Watch Outbreak.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, maybe we should end this now before we just turn to something else totally.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, watch Outbreak before bed, though. Elan, thank you so fucking much for coming into the Metal Forge this week. This has been awesome. Jason, thank you so fucking much again as well. On our way out today.
Hopefully nobody's tired of hearing about this. This is the last week we'll hear about it.
Oh, shut up. I'm gonna promote it again next year. Even if you're not doing it. I'm gonna promote it for the next 2 years.
All right.
Dude, what do you want to play out today from Oblivion Throne?
Probably Souls Ensnared from the Void Gazer EP.
Awesome. You heard him. This is Souls Ensnared. Yeah.
In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soulgrinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now.
Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana is the premier 12,500 square foot music superstore that has served both southern Indiana and Louisville, Kentucky metro area for over 4 decades. Originally founded by Marvin and Beverly Maxwell in the 70s, this gym remains a Maxwell family-owned business. Mark Maxwell, along with his business partner Whitney McNichol, continued the reputation as being the national resource for all things music.
In 2022, the iconic Guitar Emporium of Louisville relocated to Maxwell's Music, creating the largest independently owned showroom in the region. The retail offerings at Maxwell's Music includes a huge selection of guitars, basses, amplifiers, effects pedals, modeling amps, keyboards, drums, banjos, mandolins, ukuleles, sound systems, stage lighting equipment, and accessories. The music education program at Maxwell's is second to none. From private instrument and voice lessons to DJ, EDM, recording, songwriting, and music theory, to rock school, weekend warriors, and Maxwell's Music Lab, there is something for every age and every ability level.
Down in Repairland, guitar and instrument repairs and refurbishment are taken care of by the Maxwell's team of expert guitar technicians and luthiers. They also do appraisals of instruments as well. Maxwell's offers installations for professional audio, visual, and lighting systems for schools, churches, clubs, VFWs, funeral homes, sports fields, and so much more. There's also rentable space at Maxwell's, from the music practice and rehearsal rooms for the individuals and bands, all the way to a meeting space and concert venue that seats up to 120. That also includes a professional audio, visual, and lighting system and a sound booth. Maxwell's has it all. All this plus original functioning 1947 recording booth to make your own record. Go to the Guitar Hero throne, to the very own Elvis statue, and don't forget the Harmony Green Pocket Park. There's a reason the Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana has been recognized by the National Association of Music Merchants as a #1 award-winning best store design, as well as top 100 music store year after year. You gotta see it to believe it. Maxwell's House of Music in Jeffersonville, Indiana.